What about it, YouTube? All right. So there's this battle, and this battle is in and out, but inside, I've talked about this years ago, and I guess it just resurfaces, but there is this internal battle of what can I control? What do I have to just let go? Um, what do I get behind? What do I just stay silent in? Um, what what how much in the world should I be? How much separate from the world should I be? How much should I just hold on to my faith versus how much should I be a warrior for Jesus? So I experienced this. I don't know about Shafe, but I experienced this. Okay. And I take in everything he says about, maybe it's just too much of this or that, internet and everything. There's Dude, I take bits of truth from a lot of sources to try to like compile information and be my own little AI agent or something. Okay, so I try not to just become a fanboy. I try not to just get caught up in a in uh what do they call it, confirmation bias, where everything you look at and everything you listen to and everything you focus on is just meant to confirm and validate the grift you're on. Okay, so I try to, and so I might get caught up into something for a while, then I might question it, then I might react in whatever way, but I'm very careful not to get caught up into any one thing. So I think one of the things that you're caught up into that you don't want to admit that makes it really easy. I'm going to compare it to the Q-tard thing. So the Q-tard thing had everybody just be complacent and wait on the white knights and wait on the guys in the background to solve all the problems and root out the bad guys. And all you got to do is eat popcorn and sit back and watch the show. Trust the plan. Okay. And then that goes back to Operation Trust. This is old news from the Soviet era. So anything that can get you to just let the evil march forward without getting in their way is, if they can salve your brain, if they can tell you somebody else has got it, don't worry. If they can tell you Jesus is coming back, then don't worry, right? And that's what I'm getting at. The Scofield Bible, 1909, dispensationalism, Zionism, the okey doke, all right? Let's talk about the Bible. The Bible says, be not deceived, okay? That's what the Bible says, bud. It says, be ye not deceived. Do you know how many generations have thought that this is the end times? Probably every one going back 2,000 years. Do you know that there's an argument in Christianity that when Jesus says that these things will happen before this generation perishes or passes away or whatever, that there's a theory that all of the fulfillment of second coming happened in 70 AD, and that the timeline is completely different than what dispensationalists would argue. So this is the problem in the church too. You have everything from flat earth to whatever going on, Big Bang. I mean, that's you've got like this complete array within the church. You could argue, well, that's because of Protestantism, but and Catholicism, I'm not going to crap on it. I mean, I listened to E. Michael Jones today, and he's talking about how as soon as you take on white identity, the Jew disappears. He's so genius in that. Okay, I listened to another Catholic, the Deep State guy. Yeah, Dr. Deep State, and he says that there's these egregores, these like um, con, collective conscience movements where an idea comes forward, it gains traction, you adheres to it through spell and magic and through just your energy feeding this aggregor. It builds and it becomes something. Okay, and it could be anything you get behind, any movement, any idea, political or social or cultural. Okay, are these egregores, and so that's kind of something to think about, is how there just needs to be this egregore of rejection of everything that isn't Christ-like. And that doesn't matter if you think that he's coming tomorrow, bro. Like you can't do that. You want to talk about how you act as if you're a Christian and having all this peace and everything. Well, that sounds great, dude. That sounds great. Meanwhile, there's all these people that want you to just sit back and chill and do nothing and not be part of an egregore that's against them. As long as you're eating popcorn and watching in the background, they just move right past you. Okay? Sherman's March just goes right past you while you're on the swing set going like, yeah, cool, whatever. God's in control. Like, dude, seriously? Okay, and then like, look, man. I would suggest listen to E. Michael Jones, listen to Dr. Deep State, listen to other ideas. Like I'm trying to say that I try to do. Okay, listen to other ideas and consider them, and leave your mind open. Doesn't mean you need to freak out on YouTube like I do and be like, oh, if there's if that. I agree with you, dude. Like I made a big mistake. That was wrong, and so I'm constantly learning and growing and trying to stay away from too much alcohol before I make a video. Okay, but other than that, there is this, call it whatever, spiritual battle. There is this battle over what this world will unfold into. All right. And there's got to be, if everyone's masturbating, then they're not praying. Another great philosophical thing. So think about it. If the enemy gets you distracted, if the enemy gets you eating popcorn, if the enemy gets you masturbating, if the enemy gets you saying like, I'll just claim Jesus and, it'll all be good for me in the heavens, whatever. Like, bro, like, maybe, I don't know, dude. I don't know. But if that's what everybody else did, listen to Asha Logos. That's who I should be bringing up too. Like, and not to get confused with white identity, but just the history of all of the lives and the blood and the fight for the good that had to take place over centuries for you to even exist. Think about how everything had to work out perfectly for your grandpa and their grandpa and their grandpa and their grandpa. Dude, it's amazing and wonderful and beautiful that you're alive. It's not by accident. It's by a lot of hard work that you're alive. And if you're not going to do any hard work now that you're alive, dude, what do you think that's going to unfold, man? So this is what I'm saying. And the noticing needs no leader, because like I said about Scheckelgruber, right? The worst thing that can happen to the noticing is it gets a leader, because they'll burn the leader down and everything underneath it becomes AIDS. As long as the noticing, like I said, the noticing was the okie doke. It could be the okie doke if it gets a leader. If it doesn't get a leader, great. If it becomes a new aggregore, if it becomes the 100th monkey, if it becomes the mass rejection, the wholesale rejection of everything that actually has AIDS and is unchristlike, and then we can actually unfold a better future. Why not, dude? Why not get involved in that? Why not? Okay? Oh, because Jesus is coming, so why get involved? Like, bro, come on, man. That is so defeatist, and that is so like, what if you're wrong? They're not counting on that, dude. They're not counting on that. This play act that they're doing and all of this or whatever and making it seem like end times, yeah, well, that's what they want. They want you to say, oh, yep, it's all over, end times, just chill, eat popcorn, and Jesus has got it. Dude, you have to fight as if that's not the case, all right? Now, I think I've got a little bit of evidence that it's exactly around 2,000 years since the cross. But am I going to put all my eggs in that basket? There's others that have it figured out at 2028. By 2033, wouldn't that be like the last chance to, we're coming up on 2000 if we're not already there yet. Is that something that's important to God? Is there a dispensational timeline of events? Is this prophecy? Is this revelation? I'm not completely convinced. Like I'm saying, dude, there's a lot of arguments to say that all this played out 2,000 years ago, or almost 2,000 years ago, bro, in the year 70 AD. I don't know if they're right. I don't know if they're wrong. All I know is that if all these centuries, where all these people in 1666, they thought that it was all over and it was end times and everybody, right, dude? If they can use it, bro, if they can use this dispensationalist, this Scofield Bible, this rapture idea where you just get like taken up like, oh, everything's good, haha, see you suckers, dude, do you see the danger of being deceived into that when it was their operation? They took your stuff and then they told you how to feel and think about it, and to make you think that it's all real, while they're providing the WWE show to make it look real. Like it's all gay, fake and gay, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Don't be deceived, all right? And don't let the noticing get a leader. All right, God bless.